Everything that you've seen here at Tassajara is to provide for the cultivation of something that our founder, Suzuki Roshi, called beginner's mind. In fact, the book that was made that compiled his talks was called Zen Mind, Beginner's Mind. Mm-hmm. In other words, Zen mind is beginner's mind. Mm-hmm. So though everything you see around here looks very, very peaceful, that's not really the point. The point is the cultivation of beginner's mind. And each of us has had experiences of beginner's mind, and it's not been peaceful. It's usually very, it brings all of our stuff right out to the beginning. And often we try to approach things as an expert instead of as a fresh, green beginner. And Suzuki Roshi said that that is exactly the mind that we're trying to rediscover, the beginner, the empty mind, the one that doesn't know anything. In other words, the mind that is absolutely full of potential, the mind that is potential, and it's not crowded or cluttered with anything. It's free, untrammeled. So that's what we do here, and we do it in many ways, like beginning a new job where we have no idea how to do it. But we also say that is okay. That is just fine. You're doing just right not to know anything. Why should you know anything? Mm-hmm. And so we're over the mountain. That would be bad news to start a job where you didn't know what you were doing. But here, we actually cultivate that. So you have to deal with your worst fears, your most outlandish hopes and expectations, to somehow develop a relationship with reality. And most of us don't really want a relationship with reality, so we have many ways to escape that. But here we actually cultivate it. This is the face of our founder, Suzuki Roshi, who came to this country in the 60s and ended up devoting his life to the West. I hope you can see in his eyes the deep compassion and wisdom that he was known for. This building is called the Kaisando, which means Founder's Hall. It's a shrine dedicated to his honor and expresses our gratitude to his teaching.
And right now, I'm thinking about why I became a priest. My father was a priest, and his temple was quite not small, but very poor. My father was born, most temples, Buddhist temple, destroyed, and the property which belonged to various Buddhist temple was offered to a shrine, Shinto shrine. The policy of government at that time, how to make Buddhism weaker and how to make Shinto powerful as a national religion. Buddhists at that time suffered a lot, directly or indirectly. Till I understand this kind of history or policy of Meiji government, I was rather angry with people, at least who treated me so badly. As I couldn't have usual life as my friend had, naturally, my friend sometimes making fun of me. My life at school was not so happy. I would rather to stay in classroom and then play with my friend in schoolyard. And that is the time when I made up my mind to be a priest again. you know. But, not the usual priest. I wanted to be an unusual priest, to tell them what is Buddhism and what is the truth. And my teacher would tell me how to be a great man. Unless we have difficult time, no one can be a great man. He said, if you want to be successful, you should go out of this state or prefecture. I decided to leave my home. And I was thinking about where should I go. But once in a while, a priest, my father's disciple, would visit my father. So I know him pretty well. And I liked him. So I asked him, to take me to his temple. And he said, yes. I went to my master's temple when I was 13 at my teacher's temple. I was encouraged. So I think I was lucky. That is the reason why I became priest. And this reason also is the reason why I came to America. Last night, I explained Li and Ji. And usual person stick to Ji. That is quite, usual. And the characteristic of a Buddha's teaching is to go beyond things. Things means the various beings and various ideas we have. When we go beyond subjective and objective world, which is Ji, we come to the understanding oneness of everything, oneness of subjectivity and objectivity, oneness of inside and outside. For instance, if you sit, Dusen, you are not thinking anything. You are not watching anything. Your focus is, 4 feet, 5 feet ahead. But actually, we are not watching anything. Just focus is there, but we don't watch anything. Even though many ideas come, we do not think, It comes in and goes out, that's all. We do not entertain various ideas, We do not serve food or anything, If they come in, okay. And if they go out, okay. That's all. That is Dusen. When we are in that condition, in this kind of mind, when we have this kind of mind, our mind actually, include everything. Even though you do not try to include, everything, actually, everything is in your mind. The other day I explained what is sound. Sound is different from noise. Sound is, something which comes out more real and which comes out from your practice is sound. Noise is something more objective, something, which will bother you, The noise is more objective being. The sound is both objective and subjective. So, if you hit drum, the sound you make is, sound of your own subjective practice. And it is also the sound which encourage, all of us. So sound is subjective and objective. Buddhists understand every noise as a sound which we make. You may say the bird is singing there, over there, but we think, bird. When we hear the bird is me, already. I am not listening to bird. Bird is here, in my mind already. And I am singing with bird. Pee, pee, pee. If you think, when you are reading something, if you think bird is there, blue jay is over my roof. Blue jay is singing, but their voice is not so good. When you think in that way, that is noise. When you are not disturbed by the blue jay, the bruised will come right into your heart, and you will be bruised, and bruised will reading something. Then the bruised doesn't disturb your reading because you think bruised is there. Bruised should not be over my roof, When you think in that way, that is more primitive understanding of being. Why we understand things in that way is because of want of practice. When you practice that and more, you can accept things as your own, whatever it is. Buddha said, you should not sleep. It is very difficult thing to overcome sleepiness. Hunger is not so bad. Even though you don't eat 2-3 days, it's all right. But if you do not sleep, even for one night, you feel terrible. And I think this is more deeper and original and essential instinct for us. So to confront with it means to confront with your true nature, how you feel when you are sleeping, and how you feel when you are hungry, how you feel when you are thirsty. This kind of experience is very important. And this first sentence, Monmon Issai no Kyo, this is rhetorical, words. Monmon means gates. Gates means our eyes or nose or ears. All those sense organs, 5 sense organs are gates. And for the gates, there are sense object. For eyes, something color to see. For the ear, something to hear. Some voice to hear. Some smell to smell for the nose. Something to taste, for our tongue. In this way, 6 sense organs have 5 sense organs have 5 sense objects. This is, our Buddhist common sense, The purpose of, referring to this, to those things is just to say everything, instead of saying everything. We say Monmon Issai no Kyo. Monmon is gates. There's many gates, and to the gates there's many sense objects. All those things are interrelated, and at the same time they are independent. Monmon Issai no Kyo.
Hey Adam, take your day off? Oh no. Just after lunch.
And 力ざれば or else, or else it stand, it dwell, or it stay in its own position. This is position. According to the this is rely on or according to. According to the position, they stay. So it means if the birds stay at some place, at some lake, for instance, his form is not only lake, but also whole world is his home. That is how a bird flies and lives in their world. Even though you don't attain enlightenment, you have enlightenment, we say. That enlightenment means live. That something exists here means something, has already some reason why it exists here. And because of that reason, it makes sense, some sense. I don't know what sense. No one knows. But there must be some reason. And, everything must have some virtue for itself. And it is, very strange that everything has, no things are same, One is different from others. So there's nothing to compare, with you. So you have your own value. And that value, is not comparative value or exchange value. It is that value is something more than that. So just when you are just on the cushion, you have your own value. And that value, because that value is related to everything. So that value is also absolute value. Maybe better not to say too much.